All right, all right. Waiting to see if this is going. Can anybody give me a heads up? Let's see. Can anybody give me a heads up if we're going? Can you see me and hear me okay? I'm looking at comments here, so if somebody can just give me the heads up, I'd appreciate it. All right, here's Radar. JT's Thrill Billy. DVP, what's up, buddy? Wexler Day, all right. I'm going to let a few people get inside the chat here for a minute. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, week, month, all things considered. Ours has been pretty good. Our day. Hey, fancy that. Mark, what's up, buddy? Like I say, all things considered, it is what it is. James M. from Kentucky, what's up? So we got 20 in the room. Like I say, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes here, as per usual with these live streams. It takes some folks sometimes a few minutes to get on. When we get done, if you guys, first of all, if you hadn't already, hit that like button. It helps, propel this message along. All that good stuff. Swaghammer, what's up? Billy Bird, yep. Polar Cup check. Always, yeah, it's hot here too. Good Lord, it's 90 plus degrees right now. I'm sitting outside. But laying low this weekend, Radar. Good deal. But anyway, hit the like button, guys, if you don't mind, and share this live stream once it becomes a video and all that good stuff. I guess an announcement or two. Let me hit this real quick. Let's see. Swaghammer just got off a short vacation. Yeah, we did that a few weeks ago. I have a feeling that our usually scheduled vacation, hey, Soko Bros, for the end of September, early October, might be put on hiatus based on some of this stuff that's going on. And that will be going on, I predict. I think it's going to be very difficult for things going forward, and we'll touch just a little bit on that. Polar Cup is in Florida, 100-degree heat index. Yeah. I don't know what the index is here, but it easily could be that. It is. Don't be surprised if you start seeing beads of sweat run down my head. So, and of course, Zombie Farmer, you've been standing out there, J Glock 40. I know you guys have been there waiting on this deal. I'm glad you're here. And as far as Zombie, your comment getting deleted, I don't know what that's about. I saw yours and J Glock's earlier in the day, and then I noticed when we started that they weren't there. So I don't know. All right, we got 36 in the room. A couple of, I guess, just quick announcements. For anybody that does not know that is watching now or that may watch this later, I do have a Patreon if you care to go over there and support me. I also encourage you to go over to Zombie Farmer's channel, and on his channel and on the first pinned comment of every one of his videos or most recent videos, there's a link that is his channel support link. I encourage you to go over there and to support him financially. It is the GoFundMe account. He is seeking office in his community, political office in his community for change. If you don't know who Zombie is, I suspect most of you do. You'll know that he's a good man with a good message and a good cause and a great heart, good friend of mine, doing the right thing. Hey, LD Texas, good to see you. So go over there and support him. Also, I've got a friend, Integrative Preparedness, Steve Smith. He's a preparedness guy, pretty smart guy. Has had lots of life experiences. He's an author as well, and he's written the Stonemont series, which I thoroughly enjoyed, 3 books. Well, book number 4 will be out next week, I think it is. Good read, just a little plug for him. Go out there and, yes, Kathy Hunt, we're going to touch on that a little bit probably, the pastor stream. But anyway, go over there, check out Integrated Preparedness. Support him. Go. You can get his books on Amazon.com. Stonemont series is what it's called. And again, Zombie Farmer in his link, his channel support page, and as always, subscribe to these channels. Subscribe to me if you haven't already. And again, you can support me on Patreon if you wish to. You know, neither here nor there, but just letting you know it's out there. Also, and it's in my About section on my channel if you want to check it out. Also, I've got an email address and a P.O. Box address there in my About section if you care to check that out too. So, everything that's going on, and you know, nobody, no, do I sell the beers? No. You know, we all know what all's going on, and I'm not going to go over all of these things. I'm not going to just specifically call out and lay out all these things because we all know it. Okay, we're all aware of the, you know, of the big plague that's going on, and we all are aware of all of the ways in which our freedoms are being stripped and subverted, and all of that stuff under the guise of social justice and all this kind of stuff. We're aware of many of the underhanded things. Many of us are aware, I would think, of many of the things behind the scenes that are going on politically on the world stage. There are rumors and allegations and things, many of which, through some of the research I have done, I can confirm, many of which, more so, which I cannot confirm, of supposed indictments and investigations and this and that and the other, and collusion. Prepping Sapper, thank you. Yes, hit that thumbs up. So anyway, all of these things being said, one of the biggest, in my opinion, offenders right now, one of the biggest bits of subversion that is being used by the global cabal that seeks to control this whole thing, that seeks to usher in what you've heard me refer to as the beast system, ultimately the Antichrist. And yes, I'm a Christian. I believe that wholeheartedly. Even if you're not a Christian, and first of all, I encourage you to ask God to show Himself to you, to reveal Himself to you, and He will if you earnestly ask that, even if you're not a believer. But for those of us here that are Christians, you know where I'm coming from with that. But one of the biggest ways that's happening here is our youth and our young people, and for that matter, many of our middle-aged and even older people who you thought might have been smarter than that are all being tricked by what I'm going to refer to. Now, in the title of this video, you saw it was the truth about Bravo, Lima, Mike. Okay? So just to abbreviate, and I'm not going to use the abbreviation, but just to abbreviate, I'm going to call it the BLT. Okay? Bacon, lettuce, tomato, right? The BLT movement. Because otherwise this video is going to get flagged. It very well may anyway. You know, so if it does, it does. But nonetheless, gotcha. So tracking. So the BLT movement. You know, this thing may have started. Me too, DVP. All right. Yeah, Stephen Miller, maybe, okay? And that's why I say some of this is founded, some of this is unfounded, okay? The fact of the matter is the beast system is being ushered in, okay? Whether or not any of this, all this crap you hear about, you know, half of it is meant for you to hear so that we can be tricked and fooled and distracted, while, you know, the right hand is waving over here while the left hand is behind the back, you know, doing the shady deals, okay? Or vice versa, whichever way you want to look at it. You know, I'm not talking about left-right paradigm politically in this instance, just, you know, just an example. But what has happened now is this BLT movement has taken over the minds of what appears to be, and this could be off, I could be wrong, but just judging from mainstream media and fringe media, alternative media, seems to be taking over the consensus of mind of people everywhere in this country, particularly young people, particularly the people that are going to be that are just now voting age or will very soon be voting age, and that will be the ones who will be running the country, and or what's left of it will be running whatever system ends up being in place as we go down the road. Okay, so for your children and your grandchildren, for that matter, for you and me, when we are older folks and more reliant on, I don't know, for lack of a better term, the system to help with some of the things, you think about Social Security and things of that matter, which I think won't exist really when it's time for me to retire, which I don't think I'll even get to do. So I have heard these things and seen these videos and seen lots of information about the BLT's website, their agenda, how it's openly stated. You hear some of their leaders on TV talking and espousing Groucho Marxist ideas. Again, I'm being careful with how I say things. Yes, the Bible does tell us, Billy Bird, what system will be in place, and that's the one I'm talking about. So I'm going to be very careful in how I term all these things. I got flies flying around here. And so I checked it out for myself, and I took some notes, and I made some notes. And I want to go over a little bit of this with you and point out some of the hypocrisies as we expose the truth of the movement, the bacon, lettuce, tomato movement. So on the website, what we believe. 4 years ago, what is now known as the BLT Global Network began to organize. It started out as a chapter-based, member-led organization. Mission was to build local power and to intervene when violence was inflicted on bacon communities by the state and vigilantes. The state and vigilantes. Okay. Listen to the wording as I go over some of this stuff. I'm not going to read every bit of this. I'm going to paraphrase some of it, but listen closely to the wording. In the years since, we've committed to struggling together and imagining and creating a world free of anti-bacon, where every bacon person has the social, economic, and political power to thrive. BLT began as a call to action in response to state-sanctioned violence and anti-bacon racism. Because that's what's happening, right? Right? We're systemically racist as a country, aren't we, right? No, we're not. Of course we're not. Let me see here. So anyway, their intention was to connect black people from all over the world who have shared the desire for justice in their communities. Okay. Now, it goes on to say, listen to this. The impetus for that commitment was and still is the rampant and deliberate violence inflicted on us by the state. Well, first of all, that is patently untrue. The numbers and statistics prove that that is untrue. They do not tell the same story. Systemic racism does not exist. There is not deliberate violence inflicted on any one segment of society by the state, which would be the government and every arm thereof, down, from federal down to local. There's not. That's not to say there aren't bad people that do bad things, right? There's not to say that there aren't one group of people that hates another, or people within a group of people that hate people within another group of people. Obviously, that's true. We're fools to say that that's okay, but to say that it is it's rampant and deliberate, that's just untrue. So, enraged by the death of this person, that person, names off a bunch of examples that are well known, which I'm not going to speak on. I'm not going to speak the names, okay? But enraged by blah 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 blah, and all those have been torn apart again by state-sanctioned violence and anti-bacon racism. Like I say again, real racists do exist, but they're certainly a minority. There's no doubt about it. Forever changed. They returned home, began building infrastructure for the BLT network. The events in Ferguson helped to catalyze the movement. Okay, this is a well-funded, deep pocket movement. Okay, and now what's happening is with the young people, really with just people in general, but predominantly the young people that are jumping on this bandwagon and getting involved and sending their money. So you've got the deep pockets that built it into this entity that it is, this seemingly unstoppable entity that it is. And it's a political entity, okay? It is influencing policies, it's influencing politics that are going to affect you and I, white people. George Soros pockets prepping Sepper says, and yes, absolutely. And look, and I'm not trying to make this a white and black thing, but the fact of the matter is, it is whites that are being targeted now, okay? Deliberately, especially if you're conservative, heterosexual, and God forbid, Christian. All right. 2 Timothy says I'm buffering. You guys give me a real quick, if you don't mind, shout out. Am I buffering, or is everything looking and sounding okay for the most part? If I'm buffering, I may need to move this thing. Okay, looking good. Okay, good, thanks. All right, I'm going to continue here. So, the BLT Global Network is powerful because its partners, supporters, staff. Let's wait till I get to this good stuff here. Our continued commitment of liberation for all people means we're continuing the work of our ancestors and fighting for our collective freedom because it's our duty. Okay. Fighting for the work of their ancestors. So they're picking up their ancestors' fight and fighting against us because of our ancestors, and their ancestors. Because really it was black people that sold black people in Africa, but nobody wants to talk about that. Slavery doesn't exist today in the United States, okay? So, at any rate. So here we go. Every day we recommit to healing ourselves and each other and to co-create alongside comrades. Listen to the wording. Every day we recommit to healing ourselves and each other, and to co-create alongside comrades, allies, and family a culture where each person feels seen, heard, and supported. Now, that to me is a very important paragraph right there, because of the way it's worded, deliberately worded. They recommit to healing ourselves and each other, and to co-create alongside comrades, allies, and family a culture where each person feels seen, heard, and supported. Marxist, socialist, communism, and really points out the crybaby, everybody gets a trophy and everybody gets a safe space because you get offended by what somebody else breeds. You know what I mean? You get offended just because somebody else happens to be white. Or any of these things. We acknowledge, we respect, and celebrate the differences and commonalities. BS. They do not acknowledge, respect, and celebrate the commonalities. Okay? The differences. That's the whole point of them. They work vigorously for freedom and justice for black people and, by extension, all people. Now listen to this, BLT's website. We work vigorously for freedom and justice for black people and, by extension, all people. I call BS. All lives matter? What about that? What about how do people go bat crap insane when you say all lives matter? But by extension, all people are vigorously defended for their freedom and their justice via the BLT website. Absolutely untrue. Subversion at its finest. Those who don't know any better will go along with this. Now, I have not even gotten to the good part yet. They intentionally build and nurture a beloved community that is bonded together through a beautiful struggle that is restorative, not depleting. A beautiful struggle that is restorative, not depleting, is how they intentionally build and nurture a community. No, they burn down communities when they get angry at you and me, because we don't agree, because we look like not them. like the riots that did billions in damage and irreparable destruction in 50 plus cities that I know of around the country. The examples you could go on. The random acts of violence that are being carried out against white people, you know, by black people that are being recorded on video that I know you guys have seen on other social media platforms before they get scrubbed, where somebody just walks through and just whops somebody in the head or just starts beating on somebody for, you know, or the police officers in various cities who have just been literally shot sitting in their cars, you know, dead, shot dead. You know, this is absolute garbage. This is absolute garbage. This is you know, and for those common sense, good to see you, buddy. You know, it's coming. Is it illegal to be white yet? Common sense makes sense. Ask. Yeah, almost. You know, real damn close. All right, we are unapologetically black in our positioning, in affirming, just like I said in a recent video, I'm unapologetic that I'm white. You know, why should I apologize for who I was born to be? It has no bearing on someone else's life. If I live a good life and take care of my community around me, whether they be black, white, Hispanic, Asian, etc., you know, and that's just the God's honest truth. So they are unapologetically black in their positioning. In affirming that Black Lives Matter, we do not need to qualify our position in the same way that black people can't be racist, right? Right? Black Lives Matter claims, anyway. Damn it, I said it. BLT says it. Okay. So they do not need to qualify their position. To love and desire freedom and justice for ourselves is a prerequisite for wanting the same for others. This entire paragraph is vaguely unsettling to me. You know, they throw in the token others. All right. All right, it does look like I'm buffering. Let me come back. Okay. It did look like I was buffering there for a minute, so from my end. So, all right. So it goes on. We see ourselves. We're impacted by or privileged. Blah 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 blah. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. We are. I've skipped over a couple of paragraphs, but here we go. We are self-reflexive and do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege. Okay. Cisgender privilege. They work to dismantle cisgender privilege. Now, cisgender, the term, I guess, I don't know if it's in the dictionary, but in Google it says that's a term for people whose gender identity matches the sex they were assigned at birth. First of all, I don't believe that garbage about you're being assigned a gender at birth, okay? You either have a penis or you have a vagina at birth, you know? And in some rare instances, you might have both, right? You know, that has happened, I suppose. I forget what that's called, but the fact of the matter is, let's just talk about the vast majorities. You either have a penis or you have a vagina at birth. So you're not assigned a gender. You're identified based on the gender that you are, okay? So to dismantle cisgender privilege, so that's to say, okay, I know that I'm a man. There's no question that I'm a man. I never had a doubt about whether or not I'm a man. This is not taking anything away from people who believe that they're gay and transgender and all that, which I have my own opinions about that too. You know, I think it's wrong. You know, and it's not natural. Okay, let me put it that way. But those people are as deserving of God's love as anybody else's. We all need to repent, you know, before our Lord. But that being said, what cisgender privilege is there? This country is bending. All right, let me give it a minute. It says that people are saying I'm buffering again, and we'll give it a minute to catch up. This country has bent over backwards, politically, legislatively, for LGBTQ community, in my opinion. So how in the world, and in every bit of representation, on TV shows, on commercials, on advertisements, on anything that you see and hear, the representation percentage, and I don't have stats on this, But how many of you can say you watch TV shows and you see commercials and things where a gay couple is represented, or a biracial couple is represented, or whatever the case may be, something from the LGBTQ community is represented in my opinion, half almost, if not more, of the representation that we see. However, they only make up, I want to say it's somewhere around 3% at best, but let's just say, let's just say 10%. Hey guys, if we have trolls in the comments, those of you that are administrators, take care of them, please. I'm not able to catch every one of these comments. Radar just pointed something out to me, so please take care of whatever you see. I appreciate it. And if I need some more moderators on here, thank you, Common Sense. If I need some more moderators, shout out, and I can add some of you guys. But anyway, so they're self-reflexive, think about the wording now, to do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege and uplift black trans folk, especially black trans women, who continue to be disproportionately impacted by trans antagonistic violence. I do not disagree that there is violence against transgenders. I mean, we've seen it. Now, is it rampant and disproportionate and antagonistic? That's to be argued in a case-by-case basis. Okay, there's violence against all of us. Okay, but to say that because I was born a man and I acknowledge myself as a man, that gives me automatic privilege is like a kick in the teeth. I mean, like, you've got to be kidding me. Come on. All right, so goes on to say they build a safe space. Here's that safe space. Everybody's got to have a safe space, and everybody gets a trophy. NorCal, all right. I'll if I need another one, if y'all point out something else, I'm gonna tag a few of you guys as moderators. So again, the safe space that affirms black women free from sexism. Every woman should be free from sexism, misogyny, and environments. Now it says environments which are men-centered. Men and women are different. There are man-centered environments and woman-centered environments, or I'll put it this way, man-centric environments and woman-centric environments. This is the way our Creator made us. Man and woman are to be, thank you, Prepping Sapper. I will keep it in mind if we need it. I think we're okay for now. Y'all let me know if you see any foolishness that's getting out of hand, and I'll tag some of you guys. But our Creator made us in such a way, man and woman, so that of every color, race, creed, ideology, even, that we complement one another. Us men can't do everything that women do, and women can't do what we men can do. Not to say that's in everything that we do or whatever. It's just, you guys know what I'm saying. It's common sense. Common sense makes sense, would agree. It's common sense. They go on. We practice empathy. BS. Let's see. We encourage comrades. There's that word again. We encourage comrades with the intent to learn about and connect with context, with their context. Okay, because we've seen all the ridiculous memes, you guys have all seen these memes that are going on everywhere, just endless memes, right, on other social media. Let's see, being where is it? Where you're being, what are you're being, what's the word I'm looking for? Ridiculed and talked down to by your BLT leftist friends and such, the people that are drinking this Kool-Aid. Even white people, your white friends and family, co-workers, fellow students, et cetera, that are all about this BLT business, and all of this. I took a note here. White silence is violence. What? Because I don't jump on the BLT bandwagon and don't agree that or even whether I agree or not, that I'm just quiet, that I don't have anything to say about it openly on social media, that what I've got to say about it is the truth, and this is the truth. So they want to learn about their intent and connect with their contexts. Okay, so with like I say, the ridiculous memes and things that are being shared by all your BLT friendly friends and such, context does matter. I've always said that. A lot of times I see people that will post some of this garbage, and you look at it and you go, how does the one have to do with the other? How does this particular meme, and I'm going vague here, have to do with me being a racist? Because that's essentially what they're doing. They're calling us out for being racist because we're not saying anything, or because we just happen to be white, or because we say all lives matter, or whatever the case may be. That is where context does matter. I'm going to see if I can share this without being dirty, because it was dirty. There was one that was shared with me recently, and on social, or rather that was just shared on a social media platform that I happen to be friends with this person on this social media platform. And the little meme said, imagine you're in bed, man, your partner, and you're in bed, and this, again, forgive me, I'm going to be as clean as I can with this, but you lean over and say, you say you're the man, and you lean over to your woman and say, hey, you like that business, don't you? Dirty talking or whatever. And the woman goes, I like all businesses. And they say, that's what you all lives matter jerks look like. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I'm trying to make that clean. It was really dirty the way it was worded, okay? So that in and of itself speaks to me to some of the mentality of what's going on here. They pull out no stops to make themselves, it's the more crass, the more effective. The more crass, the more shared. The more crass, the more knee-jerk reaction you get from people like us, who don't believe in this crap, and who are not down with this crap, and who don't want to hear it anymore. So, hang on a second. I'm going to do something here real quick, guys. Let me... I can see some stuff going on here. I'd like to jump in here. Radar, you are a moderator. You should be. Radar, comment something so I can see if you've got the wrench. And same thing, Prepping Sapper. Okay, there you are, Radar. You're good. Prepping Sapper, if you would do the same, please. Let me make sure you got the blue wrench. I clicked the button. Let me make sure. Let's see. Dustin Jones, who needs to grow a pair? Maybe Dustin Jones. I'm not watching the comments, so there you go, Prepping Sapper. Thank you. All right, Dustin Jones, if you're talking to me, let's hear what you're talking about. If you're talking to somebody else, forgive me for getting a little, whatever. Okay, I'm going to continue here. We make our spaces family friendly and enable, no, this one. We make our spaces family friendly and enable parents to fully participate with their children. We dismantle the patriarchal practice that requires the mothers to work double shifts so that they can mother in private even as they participate in public justice work. Good Lord, give me a break. Smart move to bring your child to a violent anti-family group event in the middle of one of their protests. I mean, come on. Let's get real, people. All right. This is the last page of what I got here. I mean, we're done necessarily. We're going to keep talking, but this is the meat right here, okay? You guys ready? Let's see how many we got in here. 67 people watching. This is the meat of the matter. We, BLT, disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and, quote, villages actively care for one another, especially our children. Now, listen, people, listen to this. I'm going to reread this. We, BLT, disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children. You know, it takes a village. That's why they want to break apart the nuclear family. That's why they want fathers gone. Now, if we want to talk about, disproportionate crime rates and disproportionate incarcerations and things like that, yes, there is a problem with the welfare system, in my opinion, that it was created in the first place, really, that it gives handouts for zero participation. You know, that families are encouraged, not just black families, but families, period, are encouraged to not be families, for fathers to be absent so that mothers can raise children on government money. Yes, prepping sapper, and they want to feminize men. They want to undo masculinity and the Western structure of nuclear families. For that matter, I would dare say that all around the world, it may not be necessarily the American design of nuclear families, but families typically, a mother, father, and children. And that's good, bad, or indifferent, on how they're raised and all that kind of stuff. But they do want the families to be destroyed. It is proven that broken families, fatherless children, broken families produce broken people. Fatherless children produce more crime, more homelessness, more incarceration, more mental illness, more violence, more depression. And yes, Dustin Jones, history being destroyed. So that the young people that are coming up that are also being influenced by this BLT movement in such a way, and these other systems that are going on in place, they don't have a clue. They think that our system was inherently crap the whole time, and they're working to be better, right, and to make it better. When what they don't realize is they're ushering in Groucho Marxism, socialism, communism, the beast system, ladies and gentlemen, the beast system. They go on, they foster a queer-affirming network. When we gather, we do so with the intention of freeing ourselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking, or rather the belief that all in the world are heterosexual. Now, this goes back to my earlier point. Read it again. They do this with the intention of freeing themselves from the tight grip of heteronormative thinking, or rather the belief that all in the world are heterosexual. Again, facts are facts. There is some 3% or so of the population that is LGBTQ. The rest, heterosexual. I didn't do that. I can't help that. That's how it is. Facts are facts. Hetero is well over 90% of the population. It only makes sense that this thinking is the norm, the normative, heteronormative. Okay? It is odd statistically for a person to be LGBTQ in any way. Because statistically speaking, we're heterosexuals as a nation. That's, again, not a slight against LGBTQ community, but facts. It's just facts. Facts are facts. You can't argue with facts. I like what, Mr. Biden said, and he was caught on video as saying, what was it? He said, we go with truth over facts. Or was it facts over truth? Hell, I don't remember what it was, but it was ridiculous what he said. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not getting off topic here. So let's call it what it is, the BLT movement. Let's call a spade, okay? Let's tell the truth. It is a deep pocket funded and now mainstream funded arm of the globalists' agenda. They want to dismantle the United States of America. They want to destroy families. They want to destroy our Constitution, take away our freedoms, our Bill of Rights, our way of life. They are here to usher in the evil, the beast system. They're paving the way for the Antichrist. Do not kid yourself, ladies and gentlemen. There are too many people right now that are blind to what's going on. And unfortunately, in my opinion, from what I see, I mean, it's people all the way up, into elder statesmen of our country that are buying into this garbage. Of course, I realize that this has been at work for many years, okay, but it is coming so fast to a crux. You see it. And look, this is just one. This is one aspect. Now, it's a powerful, powerful aspect of it. It is. It's a very powerful part of what's going on here. It's unbelievable the power that it has. This movement, the BLT movement, in my opinion. But you know, there are I don't know if the plague is what it's said to be, and I don't know if Russia's our ally or our foe, and I don't know what China's up to, and we know what the media tells us. We know all these things. What I do know is that we better get prepared. We better get our stuff together, okay? And I'll tell you some things that what we're doing here at the RWP house, we are cashing out money. We are cashing out money and cashing it into gold and silver, into more supplies. We're doing it quickly. We're ramping it up. Yes, touch on something that was mentioned earlier. The Dana, what's the guy's name? Dana with the prophetic dreams, which I kind of take that with a grain of salt. Coverstone, Dana Coverstone. And the reason I say it that way is because I want to. We all have to use our own discernment from what Christ gives us. We all got to be praying and use discernment. But how many of the things that if his dreams are true, if we're to believe this guy for the dream he had in December that led up to June, all came true. And then his second dream, Sigma Tactical, good to see you, buddy. And yes, the dollarless system is on the way. How many of you guys have seen that there's a change shortage, a coin shortage here in the United States? Soon to be, I'm told, followed by a $1 and $5 bill shortage. Cashless society on the way, more control. They know what you buy. They want to know what you buy every time. They want to know where you're going, what you. They want to be able to control this. They want to be able to turn you on and off at their whim. This is why we all need to be as self-sufficient as possible. This is why we all need to be stacking foods, medical supplies, water, ammunition, firearms, ways to generate power, ways to travel. John Hoochin, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. And Dustin Jones in Tennessee, I'm in Tennessee, and I haven't seen that personally myself yet, although I've got to admit, I don't get out a whole lot, to do shopping and things of that nature. But Mrs. RWP hasn't mentioned that yet, although we're starting to hear in very close by communities, people have been sending me pictures of signs posted, of exact change and no coins and da-da-da-da and all that good stuff. And she did have a coworker say that she went to a local bank here in our little town, or the town right nearby here, and trying 2 rolls of quarters with a $1 bill, and they said, nope, we don't have any quarters, no quarters. So this is real, ladies and gentlemen. This is real. It is getting very real, and I hope you guys recognize it. Most of you do. Good news, disabled vets perspective. Soon you will not be able to drop the dime on someone. Touche, touche. Look, I hope you're seeing this. I hope you're paying attention. I do not think we're going to get to this election without there being a major, hey, Rusty, glad you got here. You'll have to check out the first half. I don't think we're going to get to the November election without there being a major, major event. Now, listen to this. We've had this year has been full of major events, life-changing, earth-shattering events. Yes, Radar. Yes, John. Good. Obviously, we've already seen just mind-blowing, mind-numbing, never-before-seen things, in my opinion. We would all agree, right? We would all agree that this has been just off the charts of unbelievable things taking place in this country this year alone. I truly believe that by November, what we're going to see between now and November is we're going to forget January through June. It's not even going to matter because this is going to be so significant. That's what I believe. I just, in my gut, in my heart, when I pray about it, the sense that I get, and from people that are being brought to me, and information that's being given to me, and that I'm discerning through the Holy Spirit, we have not seen anything yet, guys. So yes, stack it high, stack it deep. Get your stuff together, ladies and gentlemen. And I realize there's a lot of stuff you can't get together right now. You know, I can't find ammunition to save my life. I've got a really odd caliber for a long-range rifle that I can get because it's an odd caliber, very powerful caliber. But don't get me wrong, I'm not in bad shape, but I'm still trying. You know, we're trying to double down and stack. We're actually going, Mrs. RWP and me, this weekend. Our plan on Sunday is to go out to another town, a couple towns over, a little more rural, and do a big bulk run on supplies. But the ammo is I can't find it. Your standard stuff, your 223, your 5.56, your 9 mil, hell, even shotgun shells. You know, 50 cal, no prepping sapper. I'll go ahead and tell you, I got a Remington 700 chambered in 260. Very nice rifle. 260 is just not a common round, in my opinion. Not to me anyway. Not that I've ever heard. So yeah, I can get that all day long. It's expensive, but you know, but it is what it is. I mean, here we are, and I've got some. I just don't have. I'd like to have more. Let's just put it that way. So, is there anything else that you guys would like to touch on, or any other comments you guys have? I only wanted to keep this down to roughly an hour, and we're nearing that hour. I mean, we don't have to keep it to an hour. If you guys want to talk about anything else? Yeah, John Hoochin, I believe you're right. I believe what's happening. Integrated preparedness did a video the other day where he said that we're already in the collapse. You just don't realize it yet. You know, I would say the same thing about a CW. Peter Dragons, tell me what that is. I apologize. I don't know what Nesara is. I apologize unless I'm just not familiar. KIB has the U.S. under a new state of emergency. What is that state of emergency, Sigma Tactical? Yeah, 260 rim, Stephen Miller. And it's available. I can find that. That hasn't been a problem for me. It's all the other stuff. It's the more common stuff. I say that as if 260 is not common. Honestly, I wasn't familiar with the 260 round until I bought this rifle about a year and a half ago. Nice rifle too, by the way. Shoots real nice and far. Very accurate. Let's see, Sigma for COVID. What are you saying here? I'm trying to catch up, guys. Stephen Miller, I don't disagree with what you're saying here, okay? I don't. I don't. COVID update, Miami's in big trouble, Tampa, significant trouble. See, you know, I don't know look, I don't know. I don't know about the COVID, you know. They report all these numbers, but yet I don't know anybody. Well, prepping sapper, where at least the BLT riots, yeah, they didn't spread any, you know. But if we go to church, yeah, you know, it spreads it. Or if we stand too close, you know, at the sandwich shop, we're going to spread it, you know. Thank you, Stephen Miller. Hey, everybody, I appreciate you guys being here. Again, if you hadn't hit that like button, please go ahead and hit the like button and share the video, all that good stuff. See, Radar, my local academy, no. There's a few things, but not, I'm a bulk buyer too, so I like your sports guide and that kind of thing. Hey, update as well. Our crops are doing well. Our chickens are doing well. They ought to be the chickens, timeline wise, ought to be producing eggs in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Our crops are going a little slow. I honestly think they might be a little too much, a little too fertilized, maybe. We used really fertile soil and then fertilizer, and we've helped them along. And this being our first time out trying to do this, but we are having some results. We are having some yield. Nothing that we can harvest yet, but everything's going along fairly well. So there's that. One of the pushes we're going to do here soon is I'm going to put in that hand pump for my well. So if power goes down for an extended period of time, I can still get my well. And of course, we have a bunch of water put up as well. I want to do some, I've said it for a year now. I haven't done it yet, but I've got the perfect spot to build a solar system, and with literally, as long as there's daylight out there and sunlight out there, it'll collect it all hours of the day from sun up to sundown. And so these are things we're buckling down on, not to mention bulk run on supplies. We're going back for another bulk run probably this weekend. And like I say, we're doubling down our effort. We're trying to trim the fat on expenditures where we can, on frivolous things, and just trying to be better, guys. Trying to be better. Trying to get it done. I've looked into some of these little... I'll take it 450. Yeah. No, you're right, Thrill Billy. I'm familiar with that. Just don't think so. I think that we're looking at I think we're looking for a huge surprise between now and November. Certainly before the year is out, anyway. Rusty, your chickens are 11 weeks. Good deal. Good deal. Range day tomorrow. Sounds good. Hey, if you guys don't know, any of you guys who are YouTube content creators that are on here, if you're not familiar with the hashtag Let Freedom Ring, search it on YouTube. Do a search, hashtag Let Freedom Ring, all crammed together, one word. It is something some dude started a couple years ago where on the 4th of July, you just put a little video up of you, putting some rounds down range, and put the hashtag Let Freedom Ring. And I want to say that and I've just become aware of it a month ago or so. Guns Coast to Coast, formerly Midwest Prepper, turned me on to it, and I think I'm going to try and participate on the 4th of July this year. And apparently, it so many people got involved the year before and last year that it trended in one of the top spots because of so many people that were there. Stephen Miller Zombie is still on YouTube. I don't know if he's still on this live stream right now, but yes, he's still there. He shaved his beard, so you may not recognize him, but he's on there. All right, guys, I'm going to give it 2 minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. The only reason I say 2 minutes is just so I can say my goodbyes to you guys. And you guys, if you want to say bye to each other or to me or anything like that, we got the opportunity to do so. And I've enjoyed this. I appreciate it. Yes, that's another thing, Jay Glock. Let me mention, if many of you guys know that Auntie, your aunt, Aunt Fa, is supposedly coming out to destroy Independence Day in various ways. They want to cause lots of trouble around all places in the country on July 4th. So good to see you, John Hoochin. Good to see you, DVP, Jason, Georgia, Kathy, Dan, everybody, Sigma. Let Freedom Ring. Yeah, do it to it. I'm planning on participating, so it's going to be cool. I'm excited to be a part of that. Thrill Billy, everybody. I'm sorry if I missed calling you out, but I appreciate you all being here, and we'll see you next time. And again, like and share this video. Thanks so much. Go see me on Patreon. Support Zombie's efforts. Go see Integrated Preparedness. Support him by buying his books. They're fantastic reads, the Stonewmont series. And with all that, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you, and you've been wonderful, and this has been great. Thanks for the time. See you next time.